Hello, everyone. What day is it today? Welcome back to ShamanSistas, and thank you for joining us. I am Nova.
Hello, I am Gachi. And as usual, our disclaimer we do not know and understand everything about being a monk shaman, but we are here to share with you all our own experience on our spiritual journey. The New Age shaman, something I really wanted to touch base on just because I've gotten a few questions recently and before about New Age shamans, the dialects, clothings, and everything that they do that is different from what they're used to seeing, right? I will say it's not fake. That's the first question that comes to me is that real that someone's talking and you know Chinese? Yes, it's real.
Hmm.
Okay. And then the other question is it real that they can dress like that or they have that many colors or they can wear that? Yes, it's real. And it all ties back to their New Age shaman. Their guides are different. Their guides are new from what everyone is used to seeing. That's why they talk some shamans talk in Hmong, Mandarin, Hmong Chinese,
Hmm.
Thai, Laos, and even like Hindi. These are the dialects that I have witnessed myself, that I've seen many other shamans out there has spoken and everything. So I can definitely attest that this is real. And again, it all ties back to their guides are different. Their guides are new guides. That's why it's called new generation, I would say, from what I believe in. And the way they dress, how now a lot of shamans, they don't wear the traditional shaman clothes anymore, and they're wearing white clothes, or they're wearing a dress, or even sometimes some of them are wearing like the nice, like,
Gowns.
I would say Indian clothes,
Oh.
yes, gowns and everything. But yes, gowns, pretty much. It's all fine. Like the way they handle a ceremony, whether it's standing up or whatever it is, it's all real. You just have to believe in it, I guess. I know it's really hard for others to believe in something they haven't really witnessed or seen themselves, but yes, it is really true. And I'll say for the new generation, it's just called new generations because I guess they are a bit different, but then they are still the very same. They're still same from what you guys used to see, or what you guys are used to seeing as well. So I wouldn't completely say that they're different, but they are in a way. If you guys are understanding where I'm going, like they still practice the same thing as well.
Like, they're still spiritual healers, so we're all
Right.
still healing spiritually. It's just that there's many different methods of doing it now.
Right. There are
Yeah.
different methods, and definitely there is, because just talking about that, another question has been brought up to my attention is, does a shaman really shy by, looking at paper joss money? They do. A lot of them do now. They can look at the joss paper,
Hmm.
or they can write. Yes, they can write in whatever language that they write in, whatever language that their guides are giving them. They can write down on the joss paper to Shayai now. They look at flowers to Shayai. They look at incense sticks still. They look at a candle. They, it's very unique now, I would say. The ways that shamans are now able to Shayai for someone is very unique now. Even cards are more involved in common now, not
Hmm.
tarot cards, but
I mean, there
card
are some
readings and
that use
everything.
tarot cards
Yeah,
too.
yes, that's true. But I guess, yeah. So it's just, I guess you just have to have open mind to this new generation. Just because they're called new generation doesn't mean they're automatically fakes. They're imposters. They're not. I know there are some out there, but they're not imposters. This is just them having a a new set of guides, and that's just what it is. That's giving them that different dialect and clothing and ways of healing others and everything.
So, as we said before, we are going to go over some etiquette that, people should be mindful of when they're going over to a shaman's house. So, just from personal
Mm-hmm.
experience, and my siblings know this, when they come over my house, I'm very wary. And of course, they
Mm-hmm.
have like young kids, so I'm I'm very like yeah, I'm very vocal,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I
So I
do.
will tell them, I'm like, watch your kid, don't let them near my altar,
She is.
because I spent a lot of time designing it how I want
Mm-hmm.
to, and also just putting all the donya on there. So I wanted to at least, stay pretty throughout the whole year. And then especially like my tools and stuff. Yeah, they're very expensive, but not only that,
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that you should play with. Here and
They're
there,
very
like
expensive.
I'll let them touch it here here and there. But if they're gonna like play with it, then I'll tell them no. My bench, what Gachi had shared in our previous episode was like people sitting on the benches. So I will just straight out say, don't sit on my bench. And I usually have it standing up now so that no one can sit onto there. Just like treat it like how you want your things to be treated. If you have guests over and you have valuables in your house that you want for people not to touch or like to take very good care of, just be mindful. And if you want to learn more about something, just ask. They're not going to say no. Well, okay, sometimes they might say no, but they're not going to be like, they can't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
um that they'll always find some way to explain it. There was actually a time when I had my daughter's birthday. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I got myself into, but we did a sleepover. So all of her, cousins came. They're all around the same age. Like, I think the youngest there was 5, 4,
Four,
4,
five, six, seven,
or
around there.
yeah, 8, around
Yes.
there. So 4 to 8, and there was like 7 of them, and we all did like a sleepover tent party. Oh my gosh, worst thing ever. I don't know why I like got this last minute idea to put together this sleepover party, but
She
that
did.
whole night I could not rest, y'all. Like I was so anxious, and I was just like, don't go over there. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Don't touch the paper. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be quiet. You're giving
Mm-hmm.
me a headache. They literally
Yes.
I had a headache the
Mm-hmm.
whole day, like the whole time they were there, I had a headache,
Yes.
and I was thinking of ways like I can send them home, right? I was asking everyone by like 8 o'clock. This is when it got dark early. Oh no, by 8 o'clock, I was like, "Hey, anyone misses their mom and dad? Do they want to go home?"
They all said no.
They all said no, even though I knew some of them were gonna cry later, right? But they all said no, that they wanna stay, they don't miss their mom and dad. And then I'm like, "Okay." So I did an 8:30 check-in. "Hey, this is the second check-in. Does anybody still wanna go home? This is your last chance before it gets dark." Everyone's like, "No, we're happy here." 9, when one of my nephew's mom was coming from work, she told me to ask them one more time to see if they wanted to come. I'm like, "Hey, do you guys need to go home? Are you gonna cry later? Are you gonna miss your mom and dad?" Uh, I mean, apparently I couldn't get rid of none of the kids. They all stayed and slept over.
Mhm.
But oh my gosh, that next morning, I woke up super early. I told them, "Hey, get ready. I'm
Yes.
taking y'all home."
I think they
So
got
I dropped
home. I
everyone
know my
off.
daughter came home around 8 in the morning. I was like, dang, it's early.
Yeah, I was like, "Go
Yes. But then
home."
that's the thing as well. Like, don't be too loud. I know for a fact my guides don't like someone being too loud, like, or just a loud household. Like, don't be too loud. It does give them a headache and it gives us a headache because it's giving them a headache. So please don't be too loud and
Mhm.
go somewhere with an altar or something. And I think this is something that was brought up to my attention. Not that I believe it happens to everyone, but certain altars, or I'll say certain, what is that called, lineages, do not change a dirty diaper directly in front of the altar. Um,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I remember when my sister changed her baby's diaper in front of my altar. I'm like, "Ah!
yes, it's just
Turn your
because,
baby away."
yes, not that like, you know, I guess my, because they're saying that they understand that it's a human thing, but also they don't like it. So be
Yeah, like,
very
there's so many other
mindful.
places that you can
Yes,
do it at.
yes. So do not change a dirty diaper in front of an altar. My guides don't like it. they're trying to tell me other ways to explain it in a nice way, because they're trying to say that they're not bad people, or they're, yeah, yes, I got you. Yes, but they just don't like it. Like, it's dirty to them, even though they know it's normal. It's dirty to them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
this has also been brought up. This is very, um, if you're, got to be 18 and over to hear this, but like sometimes my guides,
Okay, disclaimer, this is gonna be, adult content. Is that it? Okay.
yes. So my guides don't fully like it sometimes when, me and my spouse have intercourse. So, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's just, thank you. I guess. Like, what do you say to these things? Like, they know it's normal, but it's just sometimes they just don't like it. Like, they're just like, damn, no. Like, they just don't like it. And especially if it's like oral sex, it's kind of like a big no. They don't like that. I know a lot of other shamans already spoke upon it, where they're like, it's okay, just do it anyways, it doesn't matter. But I do understand why. And it does, I'll say, not that it makes a big difference, but let's just say I understand why.
That actually brings up a good point, is that
Hmm.
as you progress through your shamanic journey, nothing is going to be the same like how you began, right?
You're
So let's
right.
say in the beginning, like both Gachi and I, we
Hmm.
couldn't drink alcohol. We couldn't eat certain foods, but as we progressed, yeah, it changed. And also, I've learned, just from my experience, I've learned how to negotiate with my guys for certain things, right? Although I do still need to negotiate with them so I can cut my hair.
Yes, you're right. And that also goes in hand of the way we dress. We can't,
Mm-hmm.
just because we're a shaman, we can't just be like conservative, like dress like a grandma. We still have to dress like every day like us. And the biggest thing, I guess I didn't really negotiate. I just kind of went and did it still. It's my nails. I love having long nails, but I swear to shaman, each and every time I have long nails, my pinky on the left always somehow gets smashed, and it
Mm.
hurts and it bleeds and everything. So for a while I stopped, but it was just recently my birthday, so I was like, I haven't got my nails done since forever. So I decided to go out and treat myself and get my nails done, and I thought it was okay because it wasn't long like it was before. It was a lot shorter, and what do you know, my the same finger still got hurt. Same pinky. I'm just like, you
Okay.
guys, it was hurting so bad one night that I just clipped them all off because I got so mad. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I clipped them all off.
What I've learned to negotiate with, and Kachi brought it up in our last episode, was that for certain lineages, women, when we're on our period, or females, when we're on our period, we can't touch our altar, or we can't enter the spirit world, or we can sit on our
Hmm.
bench. It's different for every lineage. We are the new generation. We're like kind of evolving and
Hmm.
trying to live life as normal, and still do our normal things or daily routines is that for me, I think as if a lot of you have followed every time. Okay, the two times, not every time because it only happened once. My first altar rising and my second, my final one. Um, I was on my period for both. Like I started my period for both, and so I was just like, I think this is just it's just gonna have to continue like this. It's gonna be fine. So then I finally got confirmation from my guy through a dream that yes, I can touch my altar when I'm on my period. I can do certain things on my period. I actually performed a whole ceremony when I was on my period. So for me, it has been okay. There's only one thing that I cannot do while I'm on my period spiritually, and that my guides confirmed it in a dream for me. But this is actually a very good segue to our dreams. Before we go into like the more lighthearted dreams, I did want to share with you all, and this is all up to your own interpretation and beliefs. I'm not saying you have to believe me or like take my words seriously or whatever, but I do just want you all to be very careful. I think and even myself, I didn't believe it in the beginning, like last year when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. I didn't believe it that it was going to be like a spiritual warfare. But recently I had three continuous
Hmm.
dreams. So the first one, of course, is like Shoto Shosheyan. And luckily, I was like in my dream, I hid and I was able to block myself and my family, like my family members.
Hmm.
So, that was the first one. The second one was that um, I went to this school, I went to this college campus, and at the college campus, I've seen like I went into this lecture room, and then in that room, they were setting up like little sweets to give out to everyone. And somehow I knew that in my dream that, those were not good. Like if I was to eat it, something was going to happen to me. And of course, so I ran, but everyone else ate it. And then they started turning into like zombies, right? Um, and then of course, like other things happened too, in my dream, but that one, and then this third one I had was like of a excuse me, had a burp. Um, this third one was of a tornado that I saw. So I'm driving straight with my family in the car, and all of the cars around me are just like flipping and turning, and it's like chaos, but I'm able to still drive straight. So I just want to say for everyone, I don't it take it with a grain of salt or not, but just be very careful when you're out there. Be wary of your surroundings, wear your mask, sanitize frequently your hand, wash your hand frequently. Just protect yourselves and your loved ones, because in reality, it is COVID-19. On the
Hmm.
spiritual side, there is a warfare, and it's affecting a lot of people. So I just want you all to be safe. But yes, let's move on to lighthearted things.
I believe my premonitions, they start out really young. Like, not young, but I meant early. It started out very early for me, as early as middle
Mm-hmm.
school. I'm not even gonna go details, but I will have dreams about like something happening, and then just in a few days, something does happen, you know? So it's always been an ongoing theme for me. Now it finally makes sense to me now that, I am where I am at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I did want to share, not that it's a big deal, but um typically when I have dreams about someone just talking bad about me, it's because they really are, okay? So it's kind of like I'll get dreams about it, okay? And I can't say it happens for everyone, or I get all the dreams about everyone, but it's just I hate to know it because it could be family, it could be close friends, or whatever it is. So that's why I
Mhm.
kind of hate those dreams. But
Mhm.
then I do really think, my guides were at least allowing me to know, just because you can have so much trust in someone, but on the other hand, they're just, what is that word? Like, they're just talking bad about you. That's all. Like, as much trust and love I have for someone.
Okay, just to say though, to
Yes.
premise that, if you ever dream about me talking about you, I would have already told you.
Oh, no,
There's
it's
this
never you.
one
I
time
think I know already.
when my husband and I, we were driving out of town, and so we were just talking about life, and then we got to talking about Kachi. And then she was like, "My head was a heck hurting." I was like, "Oh, what time?"
Mhm.
Because I was talking about you.
Yeah.
I was
Oh
like,
my
"What time?"
thanks.
Because that was probably me adding to your headache.
Yes, thank you very much.
Some of our guys, they're really like docile. So it doesn't mean that like
Yeah.
you shouldn't talk with about like what you want to talk, or you shouldn't say things about that person you want to say. I'm like, say it. Because sometimes it's just like a normal conversation. You're probably not even saying anything
Yes.
bad. And you're just talking
Yes.
about them specifically.
Right.
And we just happen to know sometimes. It's okay.
And this is actually drifting away from dreams. Sorry. But and this just goes on hand with, like, if someone is around me and I know that they're feeling a
Mhm.
certain type of way towards me, I feel it. I just don't say it. I'm not like, okay, yes, I do talk, like, when I'm in a group of friends or family and they want to know things, yeah, I'm willing to share whatever it is about, the shaman journey that I have knowledge of. I'm willing to share, but I'm not always the person who will open up like, hey, you're like this, like, whatever it is. I'm not a person to just open up about it unless someone brings it up and then they ask me a question, or if we're just all discussing it together, then I'll sometimes put my 2 cents in. But I typically just don't like to answer a lot of questions just because I know how someone would feel afterwards, or I know their intentions already. So I tend to not answer so many questions if I'm in a group chat or we're in a group together or whatever it is, just because I want to avoid the dislike towards me, saying, "Oh, damn, she knows she's a
Mm.
know-it-all," or whatever, or she's fake, or I just tend to avoid those type of situations just
Mhm.
because my guides
Avoid
don't
drama.
need it. I don't need it. So yes, in all, I do feel that anger or hatred or dislike or whatever they're feeling or whatever instantly when I'm there in the room with them. If they're really feeling a certain type of way towards me, I do feel it. And I don't like it because, first of all, I can't stop it. I don't know why they're feeling like that, but I can feel it. I'm just like, it's a good thing. It's like a good thing about me and a good thing I mean, it's a good thing, but a bad thing. And I don't personally like it because I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like confrontations. I just like to just keep to myself and whatever. So
Yes, that is why sometimes we just have to like step back. Yeah,
yes, we do have
because
to just
it's
step back from the
for our own
conversation.
like mental health well-being
Right,
that we need to step back.
right.
But yes, there are times. Oh yeah, kind of adding to that, there were times when I had dreams about like our friends and or family. So
Mm-hmm.
typically when I do have a dream about someone, it's very specific to that person that they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Um if I know that the individual who I dreamed about is kind of like open to the idea of like spiritual healing, or open to the idea of me like kilo tetenya, then I'll share
The dream.
like a watered down version of
Yes.
the dream.
Watered
And
down.
then I'll ask them if they're okay with it. They can come over and I can tie their hand, or I can do like, just like a very small thing for them, a ceremony for them.
You know, really quick. I must be bad. Usually, when I get dreams like that, I'll just probably tell them, or I'll just kind of not tell them and just tell
Oh,
you.
yeah. No, there are times when I don't tell them
Yes.
at all because I know, like, for the individual who, I saw in my dream, they're not appreciative, or they'll be like, "Oh, why are you so nosy?" Or they just
Right.
don't have the belief.
First of all, you guys, we're not being
No,
nosy. It's actually whatever you guys have is being nosy to us
it's
and
your
checking up on us.
spirit.
Yes.
It's your
And
spirit.
they're looking for us versus us looking for y'all.
Yes.
So that's why I hate those dreams sometimes because it's not us being nosy at all. It's just randomly. It happens
Yeah,
randomly.
like,
I'm just
I
like,
don't wanna
oh,
know about your personal life.
I know.
Um
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of times it is just very random, like, and it would be, people who sometimes they are like, family and friends, but I don't think about them on the daily like that, I'll talk to
Right.
them once I see them here and there, but then
Yeah.
they'll appear in my dream, and I'm like, "Okay."
Yes.
But yeah, if I know that they're accepting of it, then I will share it with them in a watered down version so they don't get spooked. If it is, something
That's
that is
serious.
serious. If it's not serious and it's just something that's going on in their life, if I feel comfortable approaching them,
Yes.
kind of just like checking in on them, I will do that just to make sure like they're feeling okay, because it never leaves a good feeling for
Yes.
me to let it go unresolved or
Mhm.
unchecked. Like, I feel like it's almost like my duty
Mhm.
to do something, but there are times where I have to stop myself because I know
Right.
it's not gonna happen. Mhm.
Quick, just to add to dreams or just, friends and family asking about dreams or something that happened or asking something like spiritual, like spiritual questions. Like, don't feel like I'm ignoring you because I'm ignoring you. The reason why I'm probably ignoring the conversation is really because I just don't want to get into that mix because I already, like I said earlier, or I mentioned, I know the feeling that will come after. So I just typically like to just avoid the situation as much as I can. Although I know some people are asking specifically for help and everything for whatever reasons. Unless they're asking me by name, then okay. But if they're not, then I would just simply ignore it.
I'm just very forgetful. So if you ask me once and I forgot, or I just kind of left you hanging, ask again because I'm just very forgetful.
She
Um
really is.
Gano'n ka. So then just, it's not a bother for me. Um if it is like, valid, or or of course if you're just like in doubt and you have questions and you're unsure, of course just ask away. Kachi and I both know, like, as we began our journey, we were full of questions. We wanted to know about everything. We were so curious. We asked so many stupid questions.
Mm-hmm.
We never stop learning. It's a continuous growth, and continuous learning. So there's never an ending to it. So we still ask a lot of questions.
So don't feel like any question is a stupid question. It could be the simplest question ever, and it's okay. I mean, now when I call our master, I'm just like, don't yell at me. Because our questions are so stupid, because I know they're stupid, but I'm just like, don't yell at me, but I have something to ask you. And she would just laugh because she's just
Yeah.
like, okay. But that's something I love because she's always willing to answer her questions. And she does get tired sometimes, and she's just like, you just dream too much. I'm just like,
Yeah, but we
okay.
just keep asking her anyways.
Yes, we still do. Even though she says that the next day I'm calling her because of a dream, you know, or or something. So, and really, my thing about asking is that if you don't ask me in particular, like from like just from now on, or like it has started already, if you don't particularly ask me a question or ask for help, I probably just won't help you, because like it's not that I don't want to, but it's not my problem. Okay, so if you got something attached to you and you're just not asking me for help, but you're asking for something, but it's not asking for help, I will just simply ignore you, even though, I mean, yes, I am here to help, but the way you are approaching me is not an appropriate way, because sometimes things could be like, what is that? More heavy than it looks. Yes,
Serious? Yeah.
serious than it looks. And by me just giving you a simple answer, it will somewhat, in a way, make my guides upset, because they're just like,
Mhm.
they're not asking for your help. They're just telling you why should you feel you need to help. Even though we are here to help, don't get me wrong. It's just the way that you need to ask. And I feel like we talked about this on one of our episodes already, of the proper way of asking for help. So, yeah, don't ever feel like I'm ignoring you because I don't want to help you. It's just simply because maybe I see that your problem's a little bit bigger. And if you're not asking me properly, my guys will turn it away and shut my mind, and I won't know a thing. Okay.
Mhm. That does happen
So, yes,
though.
it does happen, you guys.
But I just wanted to point out, even though I've risen to my final altar, my master will always be known as my master. She has
Oh,
like a
yes, of
special
course.
place in my heart. Um, so I'm just like a kid. I will always go to her, joke with her, and still see her
Yes.
and visit her. It's
Mm-hmm.
not something that you like. I think for some, they cut off their relationship right after
Right.
they raise to their
And
final altar.
for us, I'm like, she's forever stuck with us.
I know she's forever stuck with us, whether she wants it or not. Yeah, because we're not cutting any ties.
Yes, no ties are being cut.
Nothing is
So
being cut.
I think she knows that she cannot ultimately get away from us, like her
No.
students, the ones that do keep in touch. Just because she's very helpful. And again, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna share her. I'm sorry. It's just been brought up so many times where like I've talked to many other people regarding their journey, and they're really seeking for help, and I'm just like, I'm not mentioning my master. Like that's something I've always said to myself.
Yeah, and actually,
um
she doesn't want us to pass her information
yes,
along anyways. If you know her, then you know her. If you like,
yes, you meet her by
yeah,
faith, and then you meet her by fate. All
yes.
right.
But oh, actually, that does bring up a really good point, though, is
Mhm.
that, and maybe we talked about it already. I don't remember, but if we did, just to reiterate, like good qualities in a master, which
She has
she
really good
is
qualities.
amazing. And I'm sure there are many, many like amazing teachers out there, shaman teachers out there as well, but some like very good qualities of a good shaman master is that they help you along the way. They help you along the way. They answer each and every one of your questions.
Oh yeah,
um, Even if they may not want to, they still answer it. They're very supportive.
we get nervous.
Yeah, we do get nervous when she doesn't pick up our phone call, but we know that her phone stay busy 24/7 anyways. So it is really hard to get a hold of her, but even as a student, right, you have to be the one reaching out to your master. They're never going to reach out to you and say, "Hey, how are you doing? How's your journey going? How's your learning?" Every ceremony that I do at my house,
Hmm.
when I enter the spirit world, I
Oh
always call
yeah,
her before and then I call her
definitely.
afterwards to let her know how it went. Yeah, or like to ask follow-up questions. So, yeah, I like we oops, what was I saying? So yeah, just overall, like she's a great shaman master. And I hope for any one of you who is rising or will be starting soon, you're able to find an amazing shaman master. Again, we're so sorry we cannot pass down her information for all. rising shamans, there will be a moment where you will meet your master in the future. So don't worry about it. Sometimes it is a little bit harder than others. There will be a time when your paths will cross. So, just keep an open eye and mind for everything. But I think this pretty much sums up this episode. We kind of talked about everything. So hopefully you're able to follow along with us. Have a great holiday. Happy New Year. Be safe. Goodbye.